Hi, I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. Some of the attacks on Mitt Romney as a presidential candidate have focused on his tenure with the private equity firm Bain Capital. Critics and rivals of both parties have denounced Romney as profiteering off the backs of fired workers and running a vulture capital rather than a venture capital fund. A PAC supporting Gingrich produced a documentary about Bain, which tries hard to leave viewers with the idea that capitalism isn't evil, but private equity firms are. Some of this negativity may come from a lack of understanding as to what private equity really means. Here's my explanation. First, equity just means common stock. Whether equity is public or private depends on whether the company lists its shares on a public exchange like the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ, or is privately held. When you purchase a share of common stock, either directly through a mutual fund, you buy it from a public stock exchange where anyone can buy or sell shares of stock. Private equity shares, however, are bought and sold privately, just like houses are, or small businesses are, or cars are. One of the benefits of a public exchange is that it makes owning a slice of a company exceedingly affordable. For example, when I recorded this, for $525, you can own a share of Apple, the largest company in the U.S. If Apple were privately held, you'd need to write a check for $491 billion to buy it. If you're a little short on cash but still wanted a piece of Apple, you and 999 of your closest friends could pool your resources and you'd only need $491 million instead of $491 billion each. Well, most of us don't have an extra $491 million lying around. Well, that's exactly what a private equity company does. It brings together substantial investors, usually institutions, pooling their money to purchase companies not available on public exchanges. This requires raising or borrowing amounts that may be in the billions of dollars. The minimum investment in a public equity company is often $1 million to $25 million or more, putting it out of reach of most Americans. However, this doesn't mean the John Q. public doesn't own a slice of the private equity pie. Public pension funds like the South Dakota Retirement System have invested over $200 billion in private equity funds. The SDRS, the South Dakota system, invests over 10% of its $7.8 billion in private equity. Many investment officers and committees feel that private equity is such an important asset class that not holding a portion of their portfolio in it would violate their fiduciary duty to the fund. So we're not talking about something esoteric here or extremely crazy. We're talking about mainstay, plain vanilla type investments. Now, why invest in companies that are privately held? Well, they're often purchased for lower prices than what their publicly traded cousins trade for, which makes owning them more profitable. In other cases, a private equity firm will purchase a company that's failing or purchase a public firm and make it private. In every case, the private equity company's aim is to try and improve the profitability of the company in hopes of reselling it at a profit or taking it public. Sometimes this is successful, sometimes it isn't. What is the goal then of a private equity company? It's really simple: to produce a return for its investors. Like any other business, its ultimate goal is not to create jobs. It's to produce a profit to the investors. Now, while jobs may be a byproduct of creating better profitability, That isn't always the case, nor should it be. Failing to turn around a struggling company or laying off a division that is sucking a company dry in order to save the company isn't evil. It is a natural and crucial component of a competitive free market system, a system that has given the U.S. one of the highest standards of living that the world has ever known. Thanks for joining me.